Super awkward Funcast. You're listening to the Super Awkward Funcast. Yeah. Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Super Awkward Funcast in 2026. When you hear this, it will be 2026. It is actually New Year's Eve, and I'm recording right before the hoopla. It's been a while. It's been a while since you've heard the show. Watched the show. It's visual. But to kind of get back to where we were, the last episode was in November, or was it? It was probably earlier than that. Let me look at this thing that I got right here. My videos. The last episode was a month ago, and it did not do very well, as you see. I didn't have a thumbnail for it. Hopefully you like this one. It's sufficient. But that was quite an interesting thing that I did. I did it without a thumbnail that I custom made, and I ended up with the lowest amount of views ever. So you can see why I wouldn't be so jazzed about doing this again in the new year and feeling good about getting views. But I guess I feel a little bit better because the radio play did better than I thought it would. But that could be due to my wonderful guest, whose name is Shelley Olmsted, who is from the Antarctic. My bad, girl. What is it? Come on, Elle, you can figure it out. The Antarctic Collective. Antarctic Collective. It's not as hard as I'm making it. That's what she said. So, anyway, I'm gonna get rid of some of this stuff so y'all can't see it. Even though you already did. Okay, so thanks for watching the radio play, or listening to the radio play. The radio play is a pretty long one this year. Last year, whatever. It's from Christmas, basically. Yeah, it was from Christmas. I uploaded it on the 25th, but it had just turned Christmas and on the East Coast. And the radio play was Heretic. So if you've seen the movie, I recommend listening to the radio play. It's really fun. I just uploaded the blooper reel. That's really fun. Just a while ago. And yeah, so check that out. Check out the latest new episodes in the archive, the Funkive. They're right here. I'm already having the background noise of the shenanigans. But do not be alarmed. Yeah, just watch my shit, please. Share it so I can continue to make this content that takes a lot out of me personally, editing, and especially for the radio play. That took forever. And then it's like they waited until I started recording to shoot off fireworks. That's kind of funny. And I don't know why they do it so early here. Every single time, they're just like, we have too many fireworks. We have to throw them in the air hours before midnight. Hours. Because right now, it's after 5. So make it make sense, because it doesn't. Anyway, you're here because the Epstein? I used to call him that. Oh, those were the days. The Epstein files are here. That was a flashback. And also there's a weird picture of him in class at Dalton School. You've seen it. And it says Epstein, like spelled out on the board. I'll look that up for you, fuck it. Epstein. While this plane comes. Dalton School. Jeffrey. Come on, images. Here it is. See? I'm not crazy. So at one point he was saying to spell it Epstein. Epstine. So I find that strange that he's been known by both of those. Weird. What's that about? I don't get it. And you know what's hilarious is that New York Times and all these fucking outlets already knew where he had been and done these things. Oh, and as we learned in the Epstein files before from the Oversight Committee from the Democrats, we already know that journalists were in league with, let's remind ourselves, hold on, Epstein and the award-winning author of Trump-hating books. Well, yes, he did not kill himself. You are correct. And we are going to talk about the Transparency Act. Yes, we will. I just love that didn't kill himself comes up first. Hey, I'm on the side where he probably didn't even die. Let's go crazy. Let's go crazy with it, you know? If we're going to go out there, let's go all the way out there. Now you're making me forget who the fuck it is. Michael. Y'all know who I'm talking about. All right, I'll just look it up because they'll tell me who it is. Okay, not the filmmaker. Damn it. Hold on. Michael Wolff. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go to this. Listen to the Jeffrey Epstein tapes. I was Donald Trump's closest friend. Explosive tapes recorded by author Michael Wolff. Yes, this dude did that. He was, okay, but he was like conversing with the dude in emails. Oh, I didn't mean to do that again. Damn it. Okay. So that's not what I was trying to do. Al Jazeera. What? Okay. Blurred lines. Lol. That's a good way to put it, The Guardian. Blurred lines. How Michael Wolff aspired to be part of elite circles he wrote about. You know, the one with all the pedos. This is from November. We got to catch up, guys. We got to start somewhere. And we got to start at the Oversight Committee from the Democrat side, who wanted to share their files first. Okay. Now I'm trying to remember what I was going to do. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you. And then we'll get to this. Okay. So, back here. The writer who features prominently in newly released Jeffrey Epstein emails has achieved extraordinary access, but faced questions about his journalistic ethics. I'll say, it says here, in 2003, the New York Times late great media columnist, if you want to call him that, disclosed a $50 million bid to buy New York Magazine that had been orchestrated by the writer and journalist Michael Wolff. Among the big hitters whom Wolff helped assemble for the deal was the billionaire media tycoon Mort Zuckerman, which is funny because he's involved in the whole, oh my gosh, there's this whole thing. You got to read this book. I'll show you the book. I'm being nice. I'll give you the book. This is the name of the book you need to read. This is your homework, if you care. Let me see if I can find it. Doop, doop, doop. Okay, here it is, right here. You can find a preview on... Wait, is this a preview or you got the whole thing? I think you got the whole thing here. No, it's a limited preview. Well, we can find a real one. Hold on, we'll get it. We got this. Oh, you can go to Overdrive if you have a library card. I used it. I literally read it from the library. I read it naturally, normally, Not online, but I did find it online. So I'm trying to find the PDF version for you guys, so y'all can read it. Dang it. Okay. Let me see. This is important. Okay, that's not coming up. Okay, let me keep going. Academia.edu. Seems legit. That's not what we wanted. Anyway, you can find it in libraries. Visit a library. People don't go to libraries enough. You have ones where you can like look up one in the Overdrive. That's like the ebook library or whatever. And you can get the book free there. Oh wait, hold on. Or you can go to this fucking website. I don't know if that would be any better though. Anyway, that's not the name of it. This is the one. It's a true crime novel. It's from Gus Russo. It's called Super Mob: How Sidney Korshak and His Criminal Associates Became America's Hidden Power Brokers. It's really good. Yeah, go wherever you feel like going for it. Do your own research, as they say. Hold on, let me see the passage about Mort. If I can. Nope. You don't understand. Dang it. Start page be fucking up sometimes. Or it doesn't want me to know anything about Mort Zuckerman. Let me see. Mort Zuckerman mob. God damn it. He's supposed to be the lawyer for the mob. Oh, this is cool. Let's go here. This is not where I was gonna go, actually. Fuck it. Never mind. What is going on? Maybe I'll do just Mort Zuckerman. And then Sidney Korshak. That might help. The Kosher Capones. Anyway, it's like the Jewish mob. That's what it is. I'm just saying what it is. It's a bunch of Jewish dudes who know each other. It all goes back to that. Okay, so anyway, back to this. So yeah, he's listed here, the not yet convicted sex offender and Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein, or Weinstein. I used to call him that too. And the not yet convicted sex trafficker and financier Jeffrey Epstein. The deal never came off, but it was illuminating for what it revealed about Wolf's own journalistic ambitions. It seems like we have a little Cronkite in this guy, because if you recall, he was in the Epstein files. That's a preview. And also, it's not surprising because he was also a big fixture in the Bohemian Grove. And as we know, the Bohemian Grove is some crazy shit. And there were a lot of people who partook in those activities that you would be surprised about. One of which was Jimmy Buffett, who was invited as a guest to sing, I think, as the entertainment at one of them. I think that was 2012, which was released from the list from Wikipedia. Sorry, WikiLeaks. I had a brain fart. WikiLeaks. Anyway, let's continue. Wolf told Carr that he hoped the sale would go ahead because it would give New York Magazine, through its new owners, incredible, undreamed of, access to the kinds of circles that it should be a part of. Such a blurring of the lines between journalism and its subject matter, the aim being to be part of rich and powerful circles, not just report on them, was classic Michael Wolff. This is what he is. This is what he's about. This week, the world got a glimpse of just how far the best-selling author has been prepared to go in blurring those lines. How many times are we going to say blurring lines? Like, I'm of the mind that you can't say something over and over again in a report or an article because you end up repeating yourself and looking kind of stupid. That's how I look at things. Like, when I write something, I try not to say the same thing twice. That's just a faux pas I don't engage in. Anyway, it makes me wonder who wrote this necessarily. But anyway, among the documents released by congressional Democrats from Epstein's estate on Wednesday were email exchanges between Wolf and the disgraced financier and pedophile who killed himself allegedly. Girl, you can't just say that. You know it did. You know it's not true, sir. Girl. Ed. Come on, Ed. Get your shit together, Ed. You know he didn't kill himself. Come on now. Get it together. All right, let's see that. I guess we're going to PBS for that. Shut up, PBS. I ain't giving you no money. Okay, so this is GMAX, which is Ghislaine Maxwell. We look at the actual articles. I mean, with the actual evidence. We look at evidence here. We don't just look at articles. So here's GMAX sent on the April 2nd, 2011, 7:39 p.m. from jeevacation at gmail.com. Vacation. That's his email. That's RE, high importance. RE, whatever the fuck. Doesn't say RE what. It is RE. Oh, wait. We should start here. So this is from... Okay, we gotta go all the way down. All the way down. Let's go. Okay. Oh, yeah, I would like to do that. Thank you very much. So I know which order to read it in. Thank you. I love a PDF. PDFs are my favorite. Okay. Not pedos, but PDFs. Okay, this is from Michael Wolf, sent on December 16, 2015, 4:26:32 p.m. to Jeffrey E. or jeevacation@gmail.com. RE heads up. High importance. And he writes, I think you should let him hang himself. Ironic. A little ironic. Don't you think? Very ironic. Interesting choice of words there, Michael. What do you know? All right. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him again. Phrasing. In a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. We want you to have a positive benefit, J.E. Jeffrey Epstein. Noted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Because I want y'all to remember, this is after his conviction. Let's wiki that. Let's look at the dates if you don't believe me. He was originally convicted for procuring a child for prostitution, sex trafficking. Got 13 months imprisonment with a sweetheart deal in 2008, my friends. So this is 3 years after that incident that got him, well, not the incident. That is 3 years after his conviction. So this is a convicted pedophile, alleged pedophile, we should say, but definitely child molester. He's a child molester, and this dude wants to help him out so that he can get Donald Trump. And how this helps this dude or Jeffrey Epstein and not Trump is beyond me, because this just makes this dude's books about Trump look even worse and him look even worse. But it's a big club and we ain't in it. So let's continue. Dear me. Or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that, when asked, He'll say Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime. Then Tuesday, December 15, 2015 at 11:52 p.m., Jeffrey had originally said, sorry, I forgot to get there. Oh wait, the original thing was from Michael Wolff. These are hard to read. Don't get mad at me. December 15, 2015 at 8 p.m., he said, I hear CNN planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in scrum afterwards. And then Jeffrey replied, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? We! Hey, that sounds kind of like a conspiracy. Like they're conspiring with one another, doesn't it? That this dude was chummy with Jeffrey Epstein, a noted and convicted child molester and sex trafficker. Well, not yet. I guess he's just a child prostitute procurer, which is not any better. Then this one is from 2019. I guess these aren't in order. From Jay, sent at 10:47 p.m. to Michael Wolff. Blah, 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 Mar-a-Lago. Blah, 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 blah. Redacted. Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member ever. Of course, he knew about the girls as he asked Gillen to stop. Oh no, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. You guys are going to hear me sneeze in a second. I never sneeze on here. I'm not sneezing today. No. I say no. I feel a sneeze coming on. I'm like, no, not happening. By the way, fun fact, G-Max is also the moniker that Ghislaine Maxwell used on Reddit, because she was a big deal on Reddit and had a friendship with the chick behind Reddit, this whole thing, and she was like all up in Reddit is all I know. So she was a Redditor. Just a fun fact. I just happen to know that. And so this is from G-Max, or Gillen, on the 2nd of April and 7:09 p.m. to Jeffrey, R.E., whatever the fuck. And she says, oh, damn it, motherfucker, I did the wrong thing again. The original message was from Jeffrey Epstein to her from the same date. And he said, I want you to realize that that dog hasn't barked is Trump. Blah, blah, spent years at my house. Spent hours at my house with him. Blah, blah, meaning everybody knows by now it's Virginia, who is also dead, who also did not kill herself. Allegedly. Anyway, he has never once been mentioned, police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. So this is just collusion between two sex traffickers. Crazy. And a best-selling author who hates Trump. Okay. That was a good idea. All right, back to the original article here. It says one of the email threads dating from, it's talking about that email thread that we read. They was likely to be quizzed about his years-long social relationship with the financier. By then, Epstein had pleaded guilty. I feel like pled guilty. I would go with pled, but pleaded guilty, fine. Had pleaded guilty in Florida, it could go either way, I guess, to solicitation of prostitution with a minor, which again means that he's a child molester. Like that's, or he's trying to solicit a child. So, I mean, for himself, I'm pretty sure. So that's a child molester. That's what I would classify that as. Definitely a sex abuser, anyway, shape or form. Okay. Though Trump has always claimed they had fallen out years earlier, their association remained, as it still does today, politically problematic for him. Epstein responded to Wolff's alert by asking her for personal advice and implied that they were working together, which is super weird. Well, what the fuck is going on here with Michael Wolff giving PR strategy to Jeffrey Epstein, Brian Reed? This is not the stuff of journalistic codes of conduct. Reporters, as a general rule, are not encouraged to give strategic PR advice to public figures about whom they might be writing, whether or not their interlocutor is a convicted sex trafficker. Social media lit up after the release of the emails with harsh commentary on Wolf, and everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? And this dude behind this podcast was like, what's going on here? And the Guardian reached out to Wolf for this article, but he did not respond. Oh, he told CNN on Wednesday that he could not remember the context of the newly released email messages or exchanges with Epstein. He added, I was engaged then in an in-depth conversation with Epstein about his relationship with Trump, and this seems to be part of that conversation. You were conspiring, sir. People don't take him seriously anyway because he's, not to be taken seriously because he's been debunked on a lot of things. Anyway, there's more about his stupid books and everything and all this drama about that guy in there if you want to read. So then we get to what happened with Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie, who ended up working together to bring about the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Here is the information there in the text. Let me go a little bit higher so we can read it better. This bill requires the Department of Justice to publish in a searchable and downloadable format all unclassified records, documents, communications, and investigative materials in DOJ's possession that relate to the investigation and prosecution of Jeffrey Epstein. This includes 1. Materials that relate to Ghislaine Maxwell, 2. Flight logs and travel records, and 3. Individuals named or referenced, including government officials, in connection with the investigation and prosecution of Jeffrey Epstein. DOJ is permitted to withhold certain information, such as personal information of victims and materials that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. And they are leaning into that pretty hard because there are lots of redactions. It's like Blake Lively's MSOP. We'll get to Lively v. Wayfarer in a while. But anyway, additionally, not later than 15 days after the required publication, DOJ must report to Congress all categories of information released and withheld, a summary of any redactions made, and a list of all government officials and politically exposed individuals named or referenced in the published materials. And let's just say that didn't happen, because it didn't. But we do have an archive that is put on other websites so they're searchable and easier to navigate. So we have the original place, which is justice.gov. Epstein, you go there. Oh shit, what? That is not what I was trying to go to. That was weird. Why did that not? That's weird. Okay, let me copy the link address and then we'll do it that way. Because it's trying to get me to Google. I ain't going to Google. Fuck you. Huh. Alright, well let me go to... Damn it. We'll go over there. So justice.gov. I should have it in here. No. Bruh. I do. Okay. Then you just say you're not a robot and it'll let you go there. And then it has the whole library. You go to the DOJ disclosures, court records, FOIA, House Committee of Oversight, on Oversight, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, this is one of the many archives that are available. This is the one that's letting me in and showing me the things. So I went here. If you want to look up a specific person, we got people over here. So I want to look up, well, let's look up Donald Trump for funsies. All right, let's look at this. This is a very long transcript of a conversation. Let's see what it's with. This is with the FBI. Okay. So Donald Trump is mentioned after here. So, it's true to say that my father always wanted me to come back then full-time, but that's a much longer story. I don't think we need to go into it this time. So, but I was always working with anyone. There was no escaping if it were as if we're to. This doesn't make any sense. But anyway, she was having some advertising issues with the New York Daily News, and in fact, I may have met Donald Trump at that time because my father was friendly with him and liked him very much. And I think should be said that Ivana, because she was. This is really impossible to read. It's just trash. It's you can't read it. So probably better to listen to it. There are a bunch of audio files and stuff like that. Okay, here's some other stuff. What is this? Fire and Fury. Look. Is this his fucking house? That's crazy if that's his fucking house. Was that his fucking house? It looks like it. That's the evidence of the raid, I'm guessing. Let me read. That's crazy, dude. Let's keep going. Let's just look at this for a second. This is book collection. Some messages that are redacted. We had seen some of these before. They're not that new. What does this say? Wondering if you want her to work tomorrow for what and what time. Oh, there's Donald Trump. Donald Trump, no message, just call Donald Trump. Pretty boring. Please call her. I have a female for him. Well, that's what people were saying that said, but I don't really know what that says. It doesn't look like female to me. I have a no, that doesn't make sense either. I have a bloop bloop for him. I have no idea what the hell that says, but I'm pretty fucking sure it doesn't say female. Unless they, no, because like that's an E, right? That's an E in there. We'll go a little bit further in. Let's examine this. I have a blah blah for him. Still have no idea what the hell that says. Females. Makes no sense. Anyway, some people were putting that together with the Donald Trump one and trying to show that that was a connection. Again, people just making up shit because they can. Also, what's interesting about his name is that sometimes people would spell his name Jefffery instead of Jeffer. Damn it. Jeffery. That's interesting. She will be here at 4 p.m. or 6 p.m. But she needs to talk to you before that. Please call her back. Her new phone number. Please call her. She can be tomorrow here from 2 p.m. to whenever. See? No, never mind. I thought I saw something. Never mind. Has girl for tonight. That's disgusting. Also, people are just getting really worked up about seeing images of girls with Jeffrey. 1, he did have relatives. 2, he's a pedophile, so yeah. He's gonna be around children. Cancelled. She would like to speak to you, I believe, about college. Should I spell wrong? Schedule only anyone else. And these girls, like, that's a clue right there that they're either not as educated as they should be at their time in their high school journey, or they're way underage to be having this bad of handwriting and bad of grammar and spelling. That's a tell there. Wants to work if you are in. Wow, there are a lot of images here. August 2nd. They are available all weekend and maybe blank 2. Redacted. Redacted. Oh, we got a deposit. Another deposit. Oh, flight. We had seen the flight logs before. Those are not new. Okay. So that's just an example right there. Like, there's a lot of evidence in here. Can I go back that way? No? Okay, cool. I got, oh, shit. Hold on. Now let's do, Bill Clinton, because that one's interesting. He is in the thumbnail. Yes, please. Because both of them look like shit. One, Donald, is definitely hiding shit. Mainly because he's being blackmailed, allegedly, I think. But anyway. Oh yeah, I saw this before and I wanted to highlight it. Let me go back. Okay, this one says, this is from the Tallahassee transcript of the FBI and an accuser. Okay. I was at a dinner where I met Ted, but it wasn't, I was with the president. I wasn't with the president. Epstein had flown with, and I was at dinner, and Kate came to the dinner. I guess indirectly through thinking it was his plane, but I'd have been there anyway without him. It was not Epstein on the plane when you guys flew on that trip. Yes. Oh, well, yes. They said that one, yes, I guess. So when you say that the dinner was what? None of this is fucking... Y'all need to get... AI sucks. I don't know what to tell y'all, because y'all aren't... Let's listen to it. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Okay. I'm going to listen to it with you for the first time. This is from 3646. Let's see what the fuck these people are saying. Hold on. Let me just start there. Okay, fine. I'll do it that way. Because it's breaking my brain trying to read this shit, and I cannot. Let's start here.
And I started dating.
Okay.
And I met someone that I fell very much in love with in 2003. His name was Ted Waite. Ted Waite, you may know.
I think this is with Gillen. This was Gillen's interview, if I'm recalling correctly.
As the founder of Gateway Computers. And we had an amazing relationship that went on until 2010, I think. And I was with Ted from that time.
Did you meet him through Mr. Epstein?
No. Well, indirectly, I suppose you could say. So. No, they'd never met. I was at a dinner where I met Ted, but it wasn't. I was with President Clinton. President Clinton was my friend, not Epstein's friend. And Epstein had flown him. And there was a dinner, and Ted came to the dinner. So I guess indirectly through Mr. Epstein, because it was his plane, but I'd have been there anyway without him. Was not
Was
dependent.
Epstein on the plane when you guys flew?
On that trip, yes. Oh, well, yes. Yes.
So when you say the dinner was where?
Hold on.
Never mind. This is just how it sounds, apparently. I was too unkind. I apologize. It's impossible to translate this shit because it makes no sense. But that's on purpose, I'm sure.
Okay. And so you had flown over with... So who was on the plane for that trip? I don't mean everybody, but you said... So Mr. Epstein was on the plane?
Yes.
You were on the plane?
Yes.
Who else? That you can remember. I'm not... you only know what you remember.
Was President Clinton on the plane?
Clinton. He would have had his guy, Doug Vance. maybe Jason Cooper. Maybe.
I thought Doug Band was on the plane, so I don't know why it says Vance. And it sounded like she said Vance, so I don't know what happened there. But Doug Band was the one that he had on the plane that is in the logs that I have seen.
Oh,
And so why? So how do you meet? Why do you say that's when you met him, and that you met him through Clinton?
well, it was a. I don't think Ted would have been there had it not been a. It was a President Clinton dinner, and Ted came to be with President Clinton, not to be with Mr. Epstein. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's why I say that.
Okay, so so in the time that you're dating, that you're with him to 2009, are you still working for Mr. Epstein during that time?
It'd be true to say that Jeffrey tried very hard, Mr. Epstein tried very hard to keep me to working for him, because, I mean, this is a complex operation. I'm not talking about anything untoward, just the sheer size of the projects. I'm talking the construction projects, the houses, the staff. It's a really significant.
And then she just like trails off on whatever the topic she wants to cover is. Yeah, this is with Spencer Horn on July 24th with Todd Blanchard. So this is that interview that we already went over before. But yeah, like there's a bunch of stuff in here. And you just gotta like look through everything. Why is this only giving me these things? Oh wait, here we go. What's this? Oh, what is this? I haven't seen this. Let's look at this. Brad Pitt is mentioned too. Billionaires Are Free from New York Magazine. Vanessa Gregoriadis. And these days, a dime a dozen. But even for today's b-boys, there are some things money can't buy. Deep in the wilds of Chelsea, there is a door. The door has a screen. We don't get to read the rest of that or the beginning of this. Around midnight, the most beautiful young models in the city arrive, squired in quickly, their backs with shoulder blades like arrows disappearing inside. Door, as the nightclub is creatively called, popped up late this summer. No one is supposed to know it's there. It is where moguls go. After the Yahoo board meeting, Jerry Yang and David Filo came by. Another night in the fall, Sergey Brin and Larry Page, previously of YouTube, were there. Supermarket billionaire Ron Burkle, Virgin head Richard Branson, and Steve Bing, the down-to-earth Democratic donor who inherited nearly $1 billion from his real estate magnate grandfather, the developer of some of the most beautiful Art Deco buildings on Park Avenue in the West Village. Advanced men for President Clinton. Few other guys can get in, except for a couple of model wranglers, those handsome, usually South American guys who round up models at their apartments and herd them to nightclubs. Promoter Danny A friend of Ron Burkle's, runs this place. He even got to go on a trip to Israel, which will come up later again, with President Clinton. The Wranglers are the only people in here not having fun. One hand on a mojito, they are nervous as they text madly on the phone to more girls, more girls, more girls. Creepy. For the rest of the city, the door is closed. A few handsome bankers wait on the sidewalk outside the club for a half hour scraping their shoes. I guess I'm a zero value added person in this equation, says one, stepping away, disappointed. At the very pinnacle of the New York social scene these days is the billionaire, once a reclusive character who secretively moved world markets from his castle on the hill, but now is more likely to be dining at a booth next to you. They're everywhere. This year, for the first time, everyone on the Forbes 400 list was a billionaire, up from 13 billionaires in the early 80s. One can imagine them swathed in Pyrex, looking down from their apartments and new designer buildings at our tenement buildings and bobbing umbrellas, as though the world outside were some vast boho terrarium. Now that it seems you need $1 million just to stay alive, the cultural imagination has been captured by $1 billion. I've met 6 billionaires, crowed a friend of mine, counting them on his hands and then correcting himself. 7. Our mayor, of course, is a billionaire 5 times over, with 7 homes, a few worth $10 million, and a Florida estate he bought for his daughter to strengthen her equestrian training. Over brunch on a recent Sunday, my girlfriends and I chatted about their Saturday night out. With this one talked to one of the Dells, that one sat next to Stuart Rahr, the pharmaceutical mogul and owner of the most expensive home in the Hamptons, and everyone saw Ian Schrager. He's not a billionaire, huffed one of my friends, outraged at our ignorance. To be a billionaire is to be radically free. You are your own galaxy. You make your own rules, hang out with the former president, send tourists to space. Billionaire investor Jeffrey Epstein, who lives in the largest dwelling in Manhattan, a 51,000 square foot palace on 71st Street, though his business naturally is located on a 70-acre private island in the Virgin Islands, was humiliated this summer when his lifestyle was made public. Epstein was known to be a womanizer. He usually travels with 3 women who are strictly not of our class, darling, says a friend. They serve his guests dinner on his private 727 and are also there for touching. What the fuck? Creepy ass article. But it seems that he was also interested in younger women. Over the past few years, a then 17-year-old, I'm assuming it's Virginia, brought at least 5 high school girls between the ages of 14 and 16 over to Epstein's house in Palm Beach to massage him, which meant watching him masturbate and even allegedly having sex. Epstein's defense seems to be that he didn't know the girls were minors and that he is very passionate about massage, as one of his lawyers says. Was that Alan? Those who know Epstein say he's unfazed by his travails. He's totally open about his life. His life is about making money and living an erotic life, and his escape isn't alcohol or drugs, it's sex, says a friend. I was talking to him the other day, and he said to me that he was doing well and working steadily between massages. In books, the billionaire has become a symbol of ultimate power and freedom. They're Gatsby's, yes, but they own the light at the end of the dock. In Michael Tolkien's The Return of the player tries to make a fortune working for a $750 million man, a pauper, and the billionaire who pulls his strings. The billionaire tells the player, you don't know what a few extra decimal places taste like. There are wines, my God, you don't know what they do for you. From vineyards that stopped selling to the public about 40 popes ago, the provenance of this, Rembrandt, is without blemish, and the painting has never been publicly catalogued, like a lot of the most amazing pieces in the world, and I paid for it using the interest of the interest of the interest. $125 million. I had more money an hour after I signed the check than I did when I bought it. But art falls short when describing the lives of billionaires. Steve Wynn is free enough to afford to buy a Picasso. By the way, good choice, since he's into younger girls too in his time. Even when his eyesight is famously challenged, and to rip a hole in that Picasso with his elbow while distractedly showing the painting before he closed the deal with hedge fund billionaire Steve Cohen to buy it for $139 million, which would have been the highest price ever paid for a work of art. Convinced that the elbow gaffe was fate, Wynn decided to keep the picture. What's $139 million after all to a man like him? A billionaire has the wherewithal to match his moral vanity. While the rest of us struggle to keep our heads above water, billionaires are saving the world. Go fuck off. There's Branson's pledge to invest the next 10 years of profit from his Virgin Group's airline. By the way, it no longer exists. He sold it. And train Businesses in renewable energy initiatives worth $3 billion. Bing, along with Burkle and others, has pledged $1 billion to do the same. In June, Warren Buffett, the thrifty bridge player with the 5-bedroom house in Nebraska, donated $39 billion to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We weren't even looking for them, and we found them. Thank you, New York. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Crazy. You don't even look for shit and you find it. It's crazy. For education and global development and population control. Buffett plans to give away 70% of his fortune. If I wanted to, I could hire 10,000 people to do nothing but paint my picture every day for the rest of my life, and the gross national product would go up. But there's no reason future generations of Buffetts should command society just because they came from the right womb. Where's the justice in that? Billionaires can seem to have a power to conceal their actions that the Greek goddess Athena would have understood, and they are as susceptible as any mortal to believing their own mythology. But this can lead to problems when their power is questioned, as possibly happened to this year's chattering class billionaire, Ron Burkle, the mysterious 53-year-old who made his fortune in the very non-mysterious business of investing in supermarkets. Burkle, who also works with President Clinton, is a fixture at the Mercer Hotel, where he prefers to have breakfast and meetings when he's in town instead of in his office at Clinton's headquarters in Harlem. He has a pied-à-terre under renovation in New York, which he splits with Leonardo DiCaprio. Wow, he came up too? That's cray. Because he's involved in another big scandal, the 1MDB scandal, which I've covered on the pod before, which is a global scandal involving multiple countries and lots and lots of debt and lots of money laundering. That also includes the Leo DiCaprio starrer, The Wolf of Wall Street, which was made with the money from this fund that was supposed to be for the people from Malaysia. Anyway, back to the story. But I was looking for something nicer. He offered $17 million in cash to the owner of Sky Studios, the city's preeminent bachelor pad, with rooftop pool on Lower Broadway, several times, but the owner, himself a rich man, won't take anything under $17.2 million. They go back and forth about it, pennies between stubborn men. A large part of Burkle's life is spent doing business for unions. That's how you know he's a good person. Hence the script on his 757 private plane, 770 BB, or Box Boy Local 770, the union he was in when he started as a bag boy. He has given generously to the Urban League, Harlem Children's Zone, and UCLA, among others. Some portion of the other half of his life is spent being glamorous. He's invested in Scoop, the fancy boutique chain, and has anonymously underwritten model enthusiasms like his $200,000 contribution to Petra Nemcova's charity benefit for tsunami victims. His stunning home in LA, Green Acres, it's the place to be, they say, is the most exceptional charity event space in the city. $100 million has been raised there in the past year, $1 million at a recent Clinton event. This fall, when the California governor asked his help, he flew the Dalai Lama from New York and back. So many names here because Dalai Lama is also found out to be kind of gross in that he kissed a child and said that he should lick his tongue. And even after that, people were like, it wasn't what he meant. Okay. Well, he still shouldn't be kissing some child that he doesn't know on the lips. Anyway, it's difficult to live in the public eye while keeping full control of your image, even for a billionaire, as Burkle found when he made the acquaintance of a Page Six writer of questionable wardrobe and integrity named Jared Paul Stern. Burkle caught Stern on tape allegedly trying to shake him down, but possibly in this case the cure was worse than the disease, with Burkle, by many accounts, an ordinary guy who does his own laundry, suddenly as famous as Brad Pitt. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. I didn't know who the fuck he was before Epstein. So I don't think he was as famous as Brad Pitt. I'm just saying, maybe in certain places, maybe in New York, I guess, but not normal places. Or LA, but not in like the South or anything like that. And to defend his zone of privacy, Burkle has put together a fearsome cloak and daggerish security apparatus, including crisis manager Mike Citrick, who was brought in to quiet things down when hedge fund manager Bruce McMahon, my bad, was accused of conducting an affair with his own daughter. Ew. Ew. These people are gross. They're monsters. And Frank Renzi, the way that they just say this shit and it's like, la-ti-da, let me continue this article. I said a bunch of weird shit and talked about sex trafficking, but we're just going to ignore that. Let's move on with the article. Who was in President Clinton's Secret Service detail, not surprising. His wife, who petitioned for alimony of $410,000 per month, but eventually received $40,000, provided a sobering view of the end of billionaire romance. My husband is enormously wealthy, a billionaire, has his own 757 jet, and literally could track me down anywhere in the world, she testified. He is used to exerting control over all the people he comes into contact with, including myself. He cannot stand losing anything. It may not always be this way with billionaires. The new crop of internet billionaires seems to have learned from the example of their forerunners and are determined to live life differently in the Nouveau Riche era. Sergey Brin and Larry Page, not even famous anymore, guard their privacy so closely that little is known about where they live other than it's in Palo Alto, and the most impressive cars they own are Priuses. When Brin and Page met with the Stanford grad students who started YouTube to negotiate the deal earlier this week, it was for lunch at a Denny's. They do, however, own their own Boeing 767 jet, which includes 2 bedrooms and hammocks hung from the common room ceiling. Hammocks may not be the style of billionaire Rustam Tariko, the Russian banking and vodka tycoon, but he has a similarly freewheeling approach to life. Tariko had one of the city's most incredible parties at the foot of the Statue of Liberty to toast his new brand of vodka. Over 1,000 people dressed in their finest bling gathered there to eat borscht and caviar under the lit statue. I remember Tariko running around, slightly flushed in a pressed suit with a crisp white collar, greeting everyone from Helena Christensen to Donna Karen as Duran Duran played their old hits on stage. More recently, it was rumored he'd bought Picasso's Dora Maar with Cat for $95 million. Tariko told Lillian Ross that he has done nothing of the sort. Not me, he said. Art dealers from all over the world are now asking me to buy Picasso's other impressionists. I prefer Renaissance, Caravaggio, but I do not buy them. I'd rather invest in my freedom rather than in my walls. Okay. So, when was this, though? Does this say when it is? That's weird. It doesn't say. You know what? We can find it. It'll be fine. Let's do this. I'm sure this is actually in the fucking archive anyway. Damn it. Copy text. Alright, we're gonna look it up. Good luck, Elle. That did not do anything for me. Let's see. If we do it here. Okay, here we go. This is from 2008. I found the original. It's not hard to find. Oh, sorry, 2006. I can't tell the difference between a 6 and an 8, apparently. October 26, 2006. So there's a little more information, because I'm all about getting all of the information, not just a little bit. Oh, wait. What is this? Oh, this is a good article. If you haven't read this yet, I've already read it. But Jeffrey Epstein, International Money Man of Mystery. It's a really good article. I have it on my computer, so I don't need to get it ever again. It's good to download things so that you have them forever. This is basically just like all the write-ups about them. Oh, this is good. This is about the non-prosecution agreement. That's pretty interesting. This is from Kirkland and Ellis, LLP. Let's go back here. Okay. Where's the picture? Show me the picture. Anyway, you can do your own research or whatever about it. Here's another thing. Another write-up. This is from Rolling Stone. The daughter of a British media mogul, Maxwell, is alleged to have served as a madam for her billionaire partner. This is from 2019. Not really that interesting because everything was known by that point. Anyway, I'll leave a link for you guys to check out all the files and stuff. Yeah, good luck searching on this website. Well, just for shits and giggles. No results found. There's no Donald Trump here. Go elsewhere. Bill Clinton. No results found. So, yeah, the searchability is not having... They're not doing that. There's no searchability, really, on this website, so it's pretty shitty. Which is not surprising, because they don't want you to search everything. So, they have other places that are able to gather that information for you. These are all the documents. The 2008 one I have to check out. I don't think this is that important. Let's just check one of these out. Yeah, good luck reading this stuff, because, like, it's so old and everything. Buying through just a bunch of legal stuff. Yeah, but if you want to read that, go ahead and read it in your own time. Let's continue. Then you got, like, this other archive here, Epstein archive, and you can click on people. This is a good one. I haven't tried it yet. Let's see what we can do with this. It's really hard to find Bill here. Where's Bill? I guess I have to look him up. Hold on. There's another background firework. Baby, you're a firework. Where the fuck is Bill Clinton? Okay, hold on a second. Bill Cosby? Well, I did not expect that. Oh, write-ups? Maybe it's some write-ups. It looks like it's a bunch of write-ups. Nothing important. Ew, AI. Lame. I hate AI. What is this? Huh. Oh, this is reminding me. I wish we would get all the information about his his charity that he had. His VI charity in the Virgin Islands, which had to do with his science crap that he was doing. Anyway, yeah, have fun with that, I guess. Here's a little more about the files. Well, we'll go in order. We'll go here first. I'm going to put things in order so I can navigate better. There we go. And then that's irrelevant. Then we'll go over here. Okay, so here's an article from Forbes. Hackers Unredact Epstein Files, What You Need to Know, by David Winder, from December 26th. This is pretty recent and updated on the 29th. All right. This dude who follows me for some reason on Twitter, shout out to Brian Krasenstein, whom I never had anything to do with, but somehow follows me, showed the unredacted versions of these files and stuff. And that's what this is about, basically. So the hackers have hacked into things. They're doing their hacker things. How the Epstein files were hacked. And it says, I simply highlighted the text, copied it, and pasted it in a document, Krasenstein said. Many users aren't aware that PDFs may contain multiple layers of data, making proper redaction more complicated than it seems. Experts at AI redaction specialist Redactable said. This underscores the need for thorough checks and verification to ensure sensitive content is completely removed. Then it says, it didn't take them a lot of research to dig up multiple cases of previous document redaction failures. A December 2011 opinion filing by a California federal district judge during a patent infringement suit by Apple against Samsung Electronics included redacted portions that, after being revealed by the same cut and paste copy hack, showed not trade secrets but rather a discussion of Apple studies and details of Apple licensing deals. This one doesn't mention the one that I saw originally, which was with Ghislaine Maxwell and her testimony in the Virginia case, the Virginia Roberts Giuffre case, where all of the redactions that they had in the documents were able to be unredacted, which was really cool. And how I got my unredacted Ghislaine Maxwell, shout out to that video, deposition. So, fun fact. Okay, a 2014 failure involved the New York Times after it published information from the Snowden files, complete with redactions that cutting and pasting quickly revealed. And finally, Dixon writes about a 2016 case when a Washington, D.C. federal judge asked for an investigation into media publication of redacted lawsuit information. Again, it turned out that the same trick was used. And then, of course, perhaps most infamously of all, until now that is, was the case of the 2019 redaction failures concerning a court filing as part of the United States of America versus Paul J. Manafort Jr. case. I don't remember that, but all right. Beware unofficial distributions of the Epstein files. A lot of people are taking advantage of that. Adobe recommends the following actions to remove information before sharing a PDF. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Next on the docket is this archived. This is not archived. I don't know why I said that. This article from USA Today. This tells more about what's in the Epstein files. So I like to go to a more non-biased source, and where as long as they show me what they're talking about, I feel more comfortable than them telling me, oh, he's trying to hide a bunch of shit. No shit, he's trying to hide a bunch of shit. Also, they do say that the Larry Nassar thing is fake, which was totally obvious from the get-go. All right, it says key documents also remain under wraps. Lawmakers have called for the release of a 60-count indictment drafted against Epstein during a 2008 investigation that never led to federal charges, and the 82-page prosecution memo about legal arguments in the case. Even what is available in the documents often lacks context. Yep. Pictures don't name who is portrayed or when or where the shots were taken. Epstein hosted celebrities and business leaders at his properties, including a private Caribbean island, but nobody other than his associate Ghislaine Maxwell have been charged with abuse. As documents trickle out, they have taken on political implications. Democrats urging the release of all the materials immediately have focused on pictures and emails that mention Trump, the Republican two-term president, and a former friend of Epstein's before a falling out. Why are we just saying that part? Because also the Republicans are focused on the Bill Clinton of it all. Yeah, the latest release from the Trump administration, December 22nd, had numerous pictures of former President Bill Clinton, a Democrat who called for all documents to be released rather than trickled out. Because you know what? They're not going to get away with anything. They're going to get away with everything. They're not going to go to jail for anything. They know that they're untouchable. So they don't. People like Alan Dershowitz and Bill Clinton don't see anything wrong with having this release because they know that nothing's going to happen no matter what. And even Trump knows that because his base is dumb as fuck, allegedly, clearly, and doesn't give a shit that he's in bed with Israel, and doesn't give a shit that he has not fixed the war in Russia and Ukraine, with the war with Russia and Ukraine, and does not give a shit that he keeps getting mentioned and shown to be acting in his own self-interest when it comes to the files. Congress approved and Trump signed the Epstein Files Transparency Act, calling for the release of all the documents by December 19th. The law directed DOJ to explain which documents were withheld and why within 15 days, setting up a January 3rd, 2026 deadline. The law states that records cannot be withheld, delayed, or redacted on the basis of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity, including to any government official, public figure, or foreign dignitary. But the law also permits the department to withhold documents that identify the victims of sexual abuse, portray sexual abuse, or could hurt criminal prosecutions. And that's what they leaned on so much. It's already getting loud outside as people prepare their events. So I'm going to wrap up pretty soon. Why is the DOJ's review of Epstein documents taking so long? The department has said it is trying to protect people who accused Epstein of abuse. More than 150 lawyers and other staffers are reviewing the documents for redactions. Authorities have held more than 30 meetings and calls with lawyers for people alleging they were abused. The department is also inviting people to step forward if they fear their names might be released. The department warned a judge in one of the Epstein cases that the volume of documents means the review could lead to mistakes. Readers could piece together information that in isolation does not identify a victim but can be pieced together to identify a victim. Posting information on a publicly available website also poses risks of intrusion and technical errors, the department said. So who are the alleged co-conspirators? The 10 ones. Federal agents exchanged emails days after Epstein's arrest in July 2019 about locating 10 co-conspirators and serving them with subpoenas. On July 9th, an unnamed staffer mentioned 3 in Florida, 1 in Boston, 1 in New York City, and 1 in Connecticut. The identities of these co-conspirators is largely unknown. Another summary referred to 10 subpoenas and noted 2 of the individuals are pilots. I'm looking at you, Sarah Kellen Vickers. In September, senators asked FBI Director Kash Patel whether anyone in the Epstein case files was a part of a broader trafficking ring. Patel told John Kennedy from Louisiana that no other cases could be made and that Epstein worked alone. Bullshit. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. So he's just trafficking on his own. It's just like Diddy. He's just trying to have freak-offs. Just let the man have his freak-offs with the minors, right? Goodness. Who are these 10 co-conspirators? Why haven't we seen these memos? Where are the grand jury records? Where are the FBI records? What are they hiding? Schumer asked. Probably their connection to Israel, dumbass. Some documents in Epstein files, untrue and sensationalist, says the DOJ. So everything is included. All of the Epstein files, even shit about Trump raping people and, the baby thing where he was going to have a baby killed and shit. Like, all kinds of rumors are in the mix. So it says documents from the FBI's National Threat Operations Center in October 2020 contained unsubstantiated third-person accusations that Trump raped a woman and hosted a party for prostitutes. But Trump has not been charged with any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein. Witnesses have testified under oath that Trump didn't behave inappropriately around Epstein. They also said the same about Bill Clinton. Let's be mindful of that. To be clear, the claims are unfounded and false, and if they had a shred of credibility, they certainly would have been weaponized against President Trump already, said the Justice Department. And they kind of have a point but they don't have a point because they still haven't mentioned the Khashoggi of it all, the Adnan Khashoggi connection to not only Jeffrey Epstein, but also President Trump and the Iran-Contra affair. No one mentions that except my ass. I'm the only one who gives a shit about the drug trafficking. With the fucking arms dealer. I can't. Oh my gosh. And the money laundering. The money laundering and the drug trafficking. One of the documents purported to a note Epstein wrote to Nassar saying they shared love and caring for young ladies and mentioned our president. But the FBI found the handwriting didn't match Epstein's. The letter was postmarked 3 days after his death from Virginia while he was jailed in New York, and the return address didn't include his inmate number as required for outgoing mail. This fake letter serves as a reminder that just because a document is released by the Department of Justice does not make the allegations or claims within the document factual. The department responded on social media December 24th to someone questioning why the release included fake records by calling the person a dope. That was very helpful. Did they follow the law? Not really, but whatever. Members of both parties wield Epstein docs as political weapon. Thank you. I was just saying, they do it on both sides. House Democrats pressured the administration to make the files public by releasing emails from Epstein's estate that said Trump knew about the girls and pictures including an image portraying a box of Trump condoms. Let's get a look at that, if we're allowed. Oh my gosh, can we just see the fucking thing? I don't need to read the whole write-up. Damn it. Just show me the fucking picture. Alright, maybe I'm not allowed to look at it. Never mind. Alright, never mind. That's just them linking to another article that's really involved. Anyway. Donald Trump thinks our investigation is a hoax and should be over, said Robert Garcia of California, the top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee. Mr. President, we are just getting started. Whatever, dude. Gates McGavick, what a name, highlighted a picture of Clinton, the nation's 42nd president from 1993 to 2001, in a hot tub next to a person whose face was redacted. Beloved Democrat president, the black box is added to protect a victim. Trump, Clinton have each been stung by the documents, of course. We already know that. Celebs appear in pictures with Epstein but aren't accused of wrongdoing. So yeah, Mick Jagger is in the Little Black Book. You can clearly look him up. David Copperfield as well. But David Copperfield is gross because he like touched Ghislaine Maxwell in a sexual way. So he probably ended up with some diseases. So maybe that's why he disappeared for a while. The documents have included numerous pictures of Epstein with celebrities, politicians, and business leaders, but no one other than Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year prison sentence, has been charged with sex trafficking like Epstein or conspiring with him. You know, trafficking to no one. Some of the boldface names were penalized for socializing with Epstein. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, brother of the UK's King Charles III, lost his title as prince after one of the women who accused Epstein of abuse, the late Virginia Giuffre, also accused the royal of abuse, but he has denied wrongdoing despite settling her civil lawsuit against him. Former Clinton-era Treasury Secretary Larry Summers quit several posts after emails revealed him appearing to seek advice from Epstein about a romantic relationship. But others appeared to merely socialize with Epstein. Musical icons, I don't know if I go that far, Mick Jagger, Michael Jackson, and Diana Ross make cameo appearances among the pictures. But it doesn't say here, but Michael Jackson was looking for property. He was only in it for business. Political leaders such as Trump and Clinton turn up at Epstein's gatherings and are way more friendlier with him. Everybody was friendly with this guy, either friendly or not friendly, but he was around. He was all over Palm Beach and other places, Trump told reporters December 22nd. Let's hear that for ourselves. Are we allowed to hear that for ourselves? Shoot. No, we are not. Okay, never mind. Let me go back. Alright, next thing is this. A little bit of information. DOJ says it could take a few more weeks to process Epstein files after receiving more than 1 million additional docs. They said the FBI and the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York have uncovered more documents potentially related to Jeffrey Epstein's case. This is from Wednesday. They said it may take a few more weeks to review the files. They have received these documents from SDNY and the FBI to review them for release in compliance with the Epstein Files Transparency Act, existing statutes, and judicial orders. We have lawyers working around the clock to review and make the legally required redactions to protect victims and perpetrators, but whatever. And we will release the documents as soon as possible. Due to the mass volume of material, this process may take a few more weeks. Spokespeople for the U.S. Attorney's Office for the SDNY and the DOJ did not immediately respond to NBC News' request for comment about the contents of the documents and why they weren't uncovered earlier. He did not die in his jail cell. Well, I guess he allegedly died in his jail cell awaiting trial. They're not saying he was they're not saying he killed himself, which is interesting here. Does NBC know what's up and doesn't want to pretend anymore? That's funny. Okay, then this one. DOJ releases huge set of Epstein files with many mentions of Trump. Says more documents to come. More than 11,000 files, totaling nearly 30,000 pages of photos, court records, emails, news clippings, lots of those, videos, and other records. They can be accessed on the website. One includes a 2020 email from a prosecutor in New York saying that flight logs revealed that Mr. Trump flew on Epstein's private jet many more times than was previously known. Makes sense to me. Emails from July 2019 show investigators discussing 10 co-conspirators, which we talked about before. And that's about it. Then Massey and Kiana are thinking about taking Pam Bondi to court for contempt. So there's that. Then we have... Wait, I already read that. I have a duplicate. Okay, so then there's this. We're going to end on Israel, because that's where everything ends. And this happened... When did this happen? On the 29th, so a couple of days ago. Our favorite friend, BB, met with the president, his bestie, and they had a little meeting here. So let's see the highlights or lowlights of that.
Seeing us on New Year's Eve, that'll be fine.
Oh, thank you.
And it's wonderful seeing you and Sarah and your whole group. Very talented group. We've done very good work together, and it'll continue. So thank you very much, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. I have to say that in addition to what I said, that we've never had a friend, even close, a friend, as President Trump in the White House. I think he's been extraordinary in his friendship and his support for Israel, his principled positions.
Are y'all listening to that? Trump people, they have never had a friend like Donald Trump in the White House. This dude was besties with Joe Biden. This dude has been around for a while, BB. And he says that this is his favorite president, basically. His bestie, his best friend, Trump.
His willingness to just cut through and get to the essence of things. And I don't say that as a compliment. I just mean it. People have heard me say that behind your back, Mr. President, many times. But I want to say something else. I think we have a partnership, if I can quote you, second to none. I think it's allowed us to do enormous things. You know, people said there was a different conception at one time, which means that America can advance its interest in the Middle East if it opens a lot of daylight between it and Israel. And President Trump has done the exact opposite. He's achieved remarkable things in the Middle East because we work together. We talk about our ideas. Sometimes we have different ideas, but we work it out. And most of the time we see eye to eye. But it's been a remarkable experience, and this was a very, very productive meeting. And may I say a very good lunch. Thank you. Thank you for your friendship.
Thank you very much, baby.
And thank you for your support. It's meant from the heart.
Thank you. You know, as I said outside, he's been a wartime prime minister, and we were, well, I guess I could say...
Whose fault is that, motherfucker? A wartime prime minister. Also, a pandemic prime minister. Also, he's in the middle of a corruption trial, which you'll mention.
Was a wartime president in more places than just Israel, if you think about it. But Israel was a big factor, and we're with you, and we'll continue to be with you, and a lot of good things are happening.
They're with him. They're with him. This president is with him. This regime is with him. Our money is with him. He's giving it to these motherfuckers. Let's skip all of the fapping, the circle jerk. All right. And get to the Q&A portion.
Appropriate time, but he will do the right thing. I know that. I know him very well. He will do the right thing. Yes.
There is a growing fear of a confrontation between Israel and Turkey. How are you going to ease this tension given the fact that President Erdogan calls Mr. Netanyahu Hitler and compares Israel to the Nazis?
Well, I know President Erdogan very well, and as you all know, he's a very good friend of mine. And I believe that, and I do respect him, and Bibi respects him, and they're not going to have a problem. They're not going to have a problem. I know him very well. And you've seen me do things with President Erdogan in Turkey that nobody else could have done. We're not going to have a problem. He's done a fantastic job. I'm with him all the way. I'm with Bibi all the way. Nothing's going to happen. Yes.
Mr. President, are you concerned that Israel is not moving quickly enough to phase 2 of the peace plan?
Well, I'm not concerned about anything that Israel's doing. I'm concerned about what
not bombing the crap out of the other countries.
Other people are doing or maybe aren't doing. But I'm not concerned. They've lived up to the plan. They're strong. They're solid. And sometimes they don't understand when somebody violates something that you want to give them a second chance. Well, we'll give them a couple of second chances. But no, Israel's lived up to the plan 100%. Don't forget, we made the plan possible by taking out Iran. And speaking of Iran, I hope they're not trying to build up again, because if they are, we're going to have no choice but very quickly to eradicate that buildup. So I hope Iran is not trying to build up, as I've been reading, that they're building up weapons and other things. And if they are, they're not using the sites that we obliterated, but they're using possibly different sites. We know exactly where they're going, what they're doing. And I hope they're not doing it because we don't want to waste the fuel on a B-2. It's a 37-hour trip both ways. I don't want to waste a lot of fuel. Okay?
Mr. President Trump, after your last remarks regarding the pardon request of Prime Minister Netanyahu, Herzog office told us that you have not talked after the official request of Prime Minister Netanyahu pardon. Can you clarify to us? Did you talk
Which
about
request are you talking about?
with the President Herzog, the Israeli President Herzog? Did you talk with him directly?
President Erdogan?
Herzog. The Israeli
So
President.
you're talking about pardon?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you got to say that. No, I think he's going to be in great shape. He's a wartime prime minister at the highest level. He's achieved tremendous success. And I'll say it, if you had 8 out of 10 prime ministers in his position right now, or before right now, maybe, you wouldn't have Israel any longer. Israel would not exist. I'd say two
There was a time that it didn't. Just saying.
of them would, and 8 of them wouldn't. Those are not good odds. You needed a very special man to really carry through and really help Israel through this horrible jam. These are major factions, and it started with our negotiation with Iran. I think it probably started with Soleimani. That was really where you mentioned that today. Which
Yeah, it was probably not a good idea to extrajudicially exterminate that man.
started with Soleimani, bad guy, doing bad things, hurting a lot of people.
Turns out that was really bad. That you shouldn't have done that.
Well, killing American soldiers and other soldiers. But it started right there would probably be the starting point. And then from that point forward, but you have a wartime prime minister at the highest level. There could be other wartime prime ministers, but they'd lose. He won. And I think the people of Israel appreciate it. I think a lot of the people...
How the fuck did he win anything? How did he win? Wait, now they're saying that he won? Wow.
The world appreciated it, actually. And because of that
I
victory...
guess he did murder the most people, so I guess that's a win.
we were able to get peace in the Middle East. If you had a different kind of a personality, if you had a weak person or a stupid person, and there are plenty of both of them, you would not have had success, and you might not have Israel. And you report for Israel. I know you're very proud of it. You do a great job. You might not have a job because there might not be in Israel right now if you had a different prime minister. That's a big statement, but to me it's a very simple statement to make. I'm looking at Pete Hegseth, and he's sort of nodding. If they don't have a strong prime minister, Pete, you might not have Israel today. I think he'll go down in the record books. And, I was a big help. I'll be honest with you, big help. Somebody said in the room, if you don't have Trump, you needed a proper combination of everything. And if you didn't have that combination, which they had, you would not have an existing Israel right now. And the people of Israel know it. That's why they like me, and it's why they actually like him. He's got a little bit of a love-hate more than I do over there. But you know what? Even the haters have a lot of respect for him. There's a lot of jealousy about him. A lot of jealousy.
I'm not a hater of Bibi. I don't like anything about this person. I think he's a monster, and he's done horrific things, and is still allowed to go to these things and attend things as if he's a normal human being, which he is not. I don't consider him a human, or anyone who does the atrocities that he's committed, not only as prime minister, but in the olden days when he did the shit himself.
Jealousy is a bad word, but I believe you would not have Israel right now, so it's a big deal. Yeah.
Mr. President, a recent poll showed that as half of Gazans would be willing to leave the Gaza Strip if afforded the opportunity to do so. Back in February, you said that all Gazans should be.
I heard that number today. Half of Gaza would leave. I've always said it. I said if they were given the opportunity to live in a better climate, they would move. They're there because they sort of have to be. I think it would be a great.
Yeah, we told everybody else that this was all about the land and taking over and eradicating the Gazans, who are Palestinians, by the way.
Opportunity, but let's see if that opportunity presents itself. But we're helping the people of Gaza a lot. So is Israel, by the way. So we'll see what happens. But I saw that.
Can't you feel us helping you with the bombs raining down on your country? Didn't you feel that? The help? It was raining down the whole time.
There was a poll. It was actually more than half the people would leave if they were given the opportunity. And I've been saying that for a long time. To me, it was common sense. So it's interesting.
Why the fuck they want to stay there amongst the rubble? Who the fuck wants to stay in the place where your whole family was destroyed? Your whole community was destroyed. Your village was destroyed. The way of life that you had was destroyed. You're going to stay there and pick up the pieces? No, you leave.
Why wouldn't countries accept them?
Look, let's not talk about it because we don't want the controversy. Right now we're helping Gaza. But if they were given the opportunity, I think even higher than that, the group that did the poll is usually, I call them negative pollsters. You have a lot of them. And yet this poll was, I think, very accurate, other than it would be more than half the people if given the opportunity. But they haven't been given that opportunity. So we'll see what happens.
Mr. President, have you reached a point of understanding regarding Syria?
We do have an understanding regarding Syria. Now, with Syria, your new president, I respect him. He's a very strong guy, and that's what you need in Syria. You can't put a choir boy. You can't put somebody that's perfect person. Everything's nice. No problems in life. You have the opposite there. He's a strong guy. We get along with him great. I can't ask for any more. He's been with us all the way. We had that mishap with ISIS, and he was with us all the way. He was fighting us. He was fighting them. So I hope Israel. I'm sure that Israel and him will get along. I will try and make it so that they do get along. I think they will. Maybe do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, well, our interest is to have a peaceful border with Syria. Our interest is to have, and we openly say it, we want to make sure that the border area right next to our border is safe. We don't have terrorists, we don't have attacks, and we also want to
You are the terrorists.
secure our Druze friends. And by the way, I think not only the Druze, but other minorities, especially the Christians, should be...
Yeah, we know you love Jews more than everybody, and you hate everybody else. We know. We know you hate all the other sects. All the other Muslims, Christians. You don't care about any of them. Oh no, not war with Iran. What? Here we go.
And China, how close are we to another operation of Israel in Iran? You said before the meeting with Netanyahu that you are in support of Israel if the ballistic missile project will take on, and also the nuclear weapon. But after the meeting, after what you know from the intelligence, how close are we to another war with Iran?
Well, I don't want to say that, but Iran may be behaving badly. It hasn't been confirmed, but if it's confirmed, look, they know the consequences. Consequences will be very powerful. Maybe more powerful than the last time. Yeah. And Iran should have made a deal the last time. I gave them the option. I said, you can make a deal. Do it. I told them, do it. And they didn't believe me. Now they believe me.
Do you have evidence that Iran is behaving badly, and what do you mean by that?
This is just what we hear. But usually, where there's smoke, there's fire. Have you heard the expression?
But what do you mean related to the nuclear capabilities?
Well, no, I'm hearing that they're not nuclear yet, but maybe nuclear too. The sites were obliterated, but they're looking at other sites. That's what I've heard. They're looking. So it'll take a long time. They're not going to go back to where they were, but they have other places they can go. And if they're doing that, they're making a big mistake. Yeah, please. There's no reason for them to do it.
Mr. President, is the United States currently open to engaging in bilateral discussions with Tehran? We're hearing reports from numerous countries that there may be some discussions. Is that something you would support, or something that is...
I would.
You would support that?
I would, yes.
Right now. Thank you, sir.
I have been, by the way, before the war, I would support that. I said to him, Bibi, I said, let's negotiate. And they didn't believe what was going to happen would happen. Yes, ma'am.
On China, so China's been doing naval exercises basically to test encircling Taiwan. Can you explain to us what your knowledge is of that? What do you think about that? Have you had any discussions with China?
Well, I have a great relationship with President Xi, and he hasn't told me anything about it. I certainly have seen it, but he hasn't told me anything about it, and I don't believe he's going to be doing it.
Does it worry you?
I think it was clear. He put
pretty clear.
He put guidelines that were, by the way, in the Trump plan of 2020, and they were put then in the 20 points, and it's up to them.
Remember this, if we didn't do what we did to Iran, just to make the subject just slightly different, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. You wouldn't have a deal signed in the Middle East. You wouldn't have a deal. Because other Arab nations, which are great people, I know them very well, I know them, but they're great people, they wouldn't be able to have agreed to peace in the Middle East because you would have had a dark cloud hanging over everything. It wouldn't have been possible. So Iran has been greatly reduced in power, prestige. I don't want to use the word humiliation because, they're trying to build up again. But we can't let them build up because if they build up, there can't be peace in the Middle East. It was a mistake. When they wiped out Iraq and Iran were about the same power. And they fought each other with different names for 1,000 years. And then our country came out and blew up one of those two countries, namely Iraq. And all of a sudden, Iran had the whole Middle East all to itself. But that's not true anymore. That's not true anymore.
Can you tell us something about your plan? Tell us something about your plan to expand Abraham Accords. If you can tell us something about your plan to expand Abraham Accords.
Well, the Abraham Accords are a great achievement of Jared and everybody. I mean, it was one of the great achievements. They'll be.
Okay, let's get to the end because I cannot anymore.
Small buildings. He said $4 billion more. It's going to end up costing more than $4 billion. $4 billion. It's the highest price of construction. Again, Democrats. Highest price of construction per square foot in the history of the world. There's never been. Gorgeous monuments are built for a much smaller price. So we're thinking about bringing a gross incompetence, what's called gross incompetence lawsuit. It's gross incompetence against Powell. And it was his baby. And the guy's just incompetent. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. He's just a very incompetent man. But we're going to probably bring a lawsuit against him. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Bibi, congratulations.
Mr. President, when do you expect an announcement then on Powell's replacement?
January sometime.
And will you ask Jay Powell to resign from
Well,
the
he should
board
resign.
entirely?
Be a favor to the nation. But he's come close. I mean, we're getting pretty close. I would fire him. I'd love to fire him, but we're so close, maybe. But maybe I still might.
Will you sell F-35 to Turkey?
Say it.
Are you going to approve a selling of F-35 to Turkey?
We're thinking about it very seriously.
And what is your
They'll be okay. They'll never use it.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, press.
Never use it.
Okay, I thought that was gonna go somewhere, but it didn't go where I wanted it to. Okay, well, that's that. That's the news. It's really shitty, as usual. The Epstein files are here, and there's a lot of stuff to go through. We just tiptoed ourselves into the pool with Bill Clinton and Ghislaine Maxwell, so that's what we can do. I wanted to talk about Lively v. Wayfair. Just a little update on that because I'm not going to take up too much more time on it. We did get the MSOP and the MJOP, not MSOP. I said MSOP before and I did not mean that. MJOP and the MSJ from the Wayfair parties. That was quite some time ago. We have not had any real news lately other than the response to the MJOP and the MSJ from the Lively parties, which was insane and included a lot of redactions. Let me give you an idea of how many redactions there were. Hold on. Because it's very similar to the Epstein files. Here we go. For example, let's go to the actual thing. Give you an idea of what we're looking at on that side of things. Lol. I'm telling you. Crazy. So much evidence. I haven't even gone to that page yet. That was so fun. Okay, we got depositions that we can't read. We're waiting for all of this to be unsealed and the redacted things to happen so that we can actually see some of these evidences that she's presenting. It's pretty embarrassing. Here's another document. The redactions, just shitload of redactions. Yeah, so Lively has something in common with Epstein files. Also happens to have been invited to an Epstein event with Harvey Weinstein, whom she was cuddly with back in the day. But yeah, she's really hurt by the sexy comments for her. Let me find the actual memorandum of law. Here we go. See, redactions, so many redactions. It's absolutely ridiculous. You can barely read her response. At least she didn't waste any of my time, though. I appreciate that. Alright, well, I'm going to continue to cover the case as stuff comes in. Maybe I can do like a whole episode about it, but other things just keep getting mentioned that are more important at the time. So basically the date for the trial has been changed, has been moved from March to May. I should say on here. May, damn it. Hold on, I can't remember. I have to go to the thing. Okay. That was decided during a December 9th post-discovery status conference with Judge Lyman, May 18th, 2016. 2016. I'm going into the past. 2026. From March 9th. And then when they went into settlement talks, nothing happened there. Just a reminder of what it is that they are accused of, that Baldoni and the CEO of Wayfarer are both accused of engaging in inappropriate sexual conduct on and off set. There's absolutely no evidence to prove that. No evidence of any sexual harassment at all. And Ryan Reynolds is very involved as well. Probably footing the bill on her side. So that's basically the news. And if something else happens, if we get an unsealing, we should soon, in January, then I'll put that in the next episode and I'll cover some of that. But I really do want to keep track of what's going on with AI and everything and movies. And I wanted to get into like a quick movie review because I did watch Begonia. You guys seen Begonia? Let me show you what that is. The movie Begonia. Let's look at the trailer together without any. There you go. Hold on. Let me get a good part of it. There we go. This is the part you see all the time. I will say right now, I'm just going to do a quick shout out to. Trying to get the best image. Hold on. That is a good image, though. It looks nice. It's a very good looking film. Yorgos made it. Yorgos finally comes up with something interesting for us to look at here. This is based on a different movie from Korea. Let's look that up real quick. Hold on. Give that its due. All right, the original film is Save the Green Planet. It's from 2003 from South Korea. And it's with a dude instead of a girl. And so this is basically taking off of that. Will Tracy wrote the screenplay. You'll see that he also wrote The Menu and some Succession episodes. So that's pretty cool. He also worked on John Oliver's show, but we're not going to hold that against him. And Eddington, which is unfortunate. He produced that. What a mess. But anyway, back to this. So Emma Stone has gotten a lot of buzz in this Yorgos film, Begonia. But I'm going to highlight my dude here, Jesse Plemons, with his best role to date, in my opinion. And my opinion isn't worth much, but that's my opinion, man. He kills it in this role. Kills it. Like, he does what I think Joaquin Phoenix was supposed to do in Eddington. If you've seen Eddington, you'll know what I'm referring to. He's very much in this culture, in an echo chamber, as they say in this movie, and he gets a lot of information and he thinks that everything that he's seeing is accurate and everything. I think he is at his best in this film. I think Yorgos did a good job with the directing, and I think this film mostly sticks the landing. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conspiracy stuff. I enjoyed the alien stuff. I enjoyed the corporate culture critique and everything. It's not my favorite movie, by the way, of the year, but it's one of the favorites that I've seen of this award season. So I wanted to highlight it a little bit. I did enjoy Wicked for Good. I have seen that people are starting to watch and review that one. who didn't watch it until it was on streaming. But I saw it in a screening, and I really enjoyed Wicked for Good. Let's look at Wicked for Good for a second. Doodly-doo. My girl, Ariana, before she became skeletal, she kills it. That's a great image. Such a beautiful film. And this scene was so good. And the scene where she's walking through her pad and, you know, hitting mirror after mirror, that was a really good sequence. If they use CGI, you know, that sucks, but it is what it is. But there's a lot of CGI in it. My issue with the film was with the way they made Goldblum look. No, don't ever do that again. Nobody ever do that again. That looks so bad. That had to be AI because it was uncanny valley. I don't believe that a CGI would make such shitty. Well, maybe it would. I don't know. Maybe that was the last minute kind of thing in post-production, but his face looks so fucked up on that younger version of him. That was supposed to... The de-aging was not de-aging. I don't like de-aging. I don't like it. I would rather see somebody play him as a younger guy, and we know that's exactly who he is. Like, we can figure it out that he's in a flashback. I don't think he needed to be de-aged at all. That's my opinion. So, yeah, I enjoyed the music in that one. I had never seen anything or heard any of the songs. So from an outsider's perspective, I thought it was a really good movie. If I'm like rooting for anyone, I guess I'm rooting for Ariana Grande. And I don't care what anyone else say. Cynthia Erivo killed it. She's a good actor. Really good actor. One of the best. She killed herself. Not really. But really, really worked herself to death on that set. And as did Ariana, but in a different way because she's not flying around in a harness all the time. So it's not the same. But they really put themselves through the ringer for that movie, for those two movies. So keep that in mind going forward. The SAG Awards are coming up. I'm mentioning this because the SAG Awards are going to be announced in a few days. And then I will vote on them. And I've also seen Frankenstein. Let's give some love to Frankenstein. Hold on. I just figured I might as well put this at the end of the episode here. You can skip it if you don't give a shit. But let's look at this one. We love Pan's Labyrinth getting... this shot! Could I just say... I hope that wasn't like too digital because it looks amazing. It looks so good. This is what I'm looking for in cinema, guys. I'm not trying to not be able to see anyone in the fucking scene. But if you have to do a silhouette, this is the beautifulest way to do it. And it was just so well done. The lighting was so good in this movie. And that's so missing from a lot of film today. I have to highlight Sinners for this reason because Sinners, I enjoyed almost everything about it except the way it looked. And it was so unfortunate for me that I couldn't enjoy it the way others did because it was so off-putting how bad the color grading was. And I'll show that in a second to compare. But like, this was just one of the best gothic kind of, I don't know if it counts as gothic, but old school kind of movies. Nosferatu was the last one we had from Robert Eggers. This one's up there with Nosferatu for me because I love the dialogue, I love the screenplay, I love the poetry of the language. I know that it's like an old story and everything, but it's so well written, it's so well done. I was trying to see more of Jacob Elordi in this, but I guess they were trying to hide it. Let me do Frankenstein. We're going to highlight Jacob because he did such a great job. Let's see here. Here we go. All right, so this is him in one of his early appearances. And he's talking about the film. Mia Goth was really good in it too. She's questionable in her her private life, but that's none of my business, so it's whatever. So Guillermo del Toro has also been very adamant about AI and fuck AI and everything, and I'm all about that. So I agree with him there. I thought more could have been done with this story, with the bride. Because if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But like her character kind of gets sidelined after a while. And it's like, oh, you built so much up with her, but you didn't really follow through. So it was unfortunate. But I thought he was amazing. And if anyone's going to get nominated for SAG Awards, it should be him. Oscar Isaac had his moments too, but I think he was kind of struggling with the way he had his sound and everything. But Jacob really kind of killed it in a way that Bill Skarsgård did in Nosferatu. But because of that, I don't know if he'll get as much praise, because people don't really take some of these people seriously in these sci-fi movies and whatnot. All right, let's look at Sinners real quick. Sinners did have one of the best soundtracks of the year, for sure. For sure. Let's look at the trailer. Alrighty. WB was killing it this year, and yet they wanted to sell off their property. Amazing. Look at this. Like, I'm sorry. It's washed out. It doesn't work for me. There's even somebody on here, on YouTube, who praises this movie and its cinematography as a cinematographer. And I'm like, what? Why? Like, okay, the good thing about it, I will highlight the good stuff. The fucking flames looked amazing. I just wish everything looked as amazing as the flames. We'll get to the flames in a second. See, the flames look good. Why couldn't I see anything without the flames? Why am I outside and I can't see things and the sun is out? Like, that's what I don't understand. Why is it so gritty looking? I feel like it was a choice, and I didn't like the choice. And I have a right to not like the choice. But it's a problem throughout the whole movie for me, and I can't see most of what I'm looking at. And especially with darker skin tones, I get very upset when I can't see their facial expressions. It bothers me. I feel like I'm the only one who is bothered by it, though. Black Panther sucked, by the way. Oh, I said it. I don't care. Shit. I never watched Creed. That is a good shot, though. That is a good shot. This was a good shot, too. Again, if it was a little more well lit in the background, for me, I would feel better about it because I could actually see the guy's face. I don't think he's supposed to be a silhouette in that moment, and everybody else is visible. Why are we lighting the background actors more than the... whatever. Again, I get really upset about these things. It's silly. But that's a good shot. I really like the shot underneath the door there. I like some of the shots outside. Like here, I like that. I like the shadows. You can do stuff with the shadows, but when we're outside, it's a different story. Like, why is it so shitty looking? Like that? I don't love the background there. I love the flames, though. Don't get me started. The flames are great. The flames are the best part of this fucking movie, to be honest. Another movie I watched was Weapons. Let's check that one out. Well, I don't want to check that one out because it'll give a spoiler. Alright, let me do Weapons. Fuck. I can't do anything with Weapons because it'll be a spoiler. But anyway, Weapons was a really good movie as well. So these are like my tops right now. I just watched Eternity and it reminded me of Defending Your Life. Let's look at that for a second. Yeah, we're just gonna look at movies right now. Because sometimes you just want to like get away from all the politics bullshit and look at movies. Oh, trailer 1 won't give anything away, that's for sure. Let's see here. So we got Miles Teller in this movie. That was a weird shot. I forgot about that shot. Okay, we're in an in-between place. We're not in heaven, we're not in hell. We're kind of picking out where we want to go. And it's like, choose your own adventure. We got our girl back from Earth, whom we were married to for 65 years. And now we got to decide what we're going to do next. Where are we going to go when we go to our eternity? So there's a lot of that. Like, there's a lot of bureaucratic stuff here. I like him, by the way. This John Early is really good in this movie. Divine Joy Randolph over here always kills it. She's just really good. Miles Teller's fine, but I like Elizabeth Olsen in this a lot. Callum Turner is also in this. He's the ex-husband. He's the first husband, not the current husband, the one who's been waiting 67 years after dying in a war. See? So it's a good movie. It's A24. It's just, I've been there before with this premise. Not the whole premise, but like, we've been in heaven, or we've been in a place between heaven and hell. We've been in an in-between place before. And I feel like it's using some of the things that we've already seen in Defending Your Life. Let's look at Defending Your Life so you know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know if we'll find a trailer for it, but we'll give it a shot. I watched it as a child on TV, on TBS. Oh yeah, we got a whole trailer here. Let's look at that. Old school trailer. Geffen Media. My favorite dude, David Geffen. So he dies. He goes to this place. He's got to defend his life. He meets Meryl Streep. Albert Brooks wrote it, directed it. Good cast. There's even there's a bus in this one that I remembered as a train, but there's a train in the Eternity movie. They kind of give away too much in that, but all right. I guess they were doing that in 91 too, huh? Yeah, so it's a similar kind of thing. Let's look at the Warner Archive version, see if that's different. Oh, that actually looks prettier. They just cleaned it up a little bit, made it look prettier. I like the old school look, though. Anyway, yeah, Defending Your Life, Eternity, similar vein. I like those movies. Weapons, I liked. I haven't watched all of them yet. I haven't watched One Battle After Another. I've watched Superman. Nobody cares about Superman, though. I haven't watched Marty Supreme. I haven't watched Die of My Love. I haven't watched a lot of movies. I still have a lot to watch. But so far, I really enjoyed those that I pointed out, including Sinners. Ironically, like, I really did enjoy, if I could fucking see everything, I would enjoy it a lot more. Because I did enjoy the story. I really did, Ryan Coogler. I seriously did. It is one of my favorite stories that he's done. I like that it's about jazz. Sorry. That's probably correct. Music in general. It's about music and the evolution of music. Not just jazz, not just different genres, but like Irish culture music and native music, all kinds of music, and the history of music and everything. I really like the end with Buddy Guy. Hold on a sec. Sinners. That was cool because I didn't even know he was still alive. Here we go. Okay, I'm giving away something, but not really. So, again, that's so dark. Why? It could look so much better. Whatever. Okay, we don't want to do too much. Yeah. So we end on this performance, which is so great. I'm not going to play it, but it's so good. Buddy Guy is amazing still. And this is at the very end of the movie. And we see him playing his guitar and doing his thing. Looking straight at the camera there. But it's a House of Blues performance, I believe. And I just really love that part. And I love the part that happens after this that I'm not going to show you. But if you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's really cool. Let's see what people say in the comments here. Someone has to know. The scene made me tear up. It's really cool because it shows you That this isn't just a movie like, yes, there are vampires. Everybody knows there are vampires. Sadly, I was spoiled before I watched it. But it's more than that. It's about culture. It's about music. It's about evolution. It's really an interesting movie and a good subject that I wish it looked better. Like, this looks amazing. This is great. This looks the best out of everything in the movie. Like, the lighting is perfect. I love this. I don't know why it couldn't have looked like that the whole time. I know it's a different era or whatever, but still, I just thought what it was missing for me. The music was great, though. I see it getting a lot of nominations. So yeah, that's basically how I felt about that. I had to let it go. I had to go off on Sinners finally, because it was just bothering me. Because so many people are putting it there on their lists and stuff, and it's like just missing it for me because of the lighting situation. Not even lighting, it's the color grading. I'm sure it was fine when they were there and they were filming, but then in post they just went crazy with the color grading and DI and made everything look way darker and muted and lame outside and inside. Anyway, that's how it is. So tune in with me next time for the January episode, which will be next month. Hopefully I'll have that done on the 30th. Is there a 31st? There's a 31st, right? Yeah, the 31st. And I'll upload it on the 31st at least of January, allegedly, hopefully. And we'll get into all the details of what's going on in the world then. And Epstein will probably not be on many people's minds anymore. So that's how that goes. The news cycle and all that. Anyway, thanks for watching this really long ass video. We're at like 2:06 live, but I might cut it down. Love you guys. Let's love each other, I guess, but not too much. And just be careful out there. Let me know what movies you liked, I guess, if you get this far. And I hope you had a great end of the year, beginning of the year, and all that good shit. And check out the radio play if you haven't yet. Where's that at? There it is. Here's a little snippet. All right. Not yet. Hold on. Let me scooch it down. A little snippet. We'll just go to some random place. Interior church, hallway, sunset. Kennedy mops the gym floor. He pauses a moment, stares out the window as the storm grows worse, seeing not a soul in sight. No Paxton, no Barnes. Interior church lobby, sunset. 2 male missionaries, 18, are screwing around. Ooh. One of them covers their head with the other's suit jacket and farts. I hope I have my passport on me because I just Dutch oven myself. His companion laughs. The dichotomy between these two knuckleheads and Barnes Paxton is biblical.
Gentlemen, let's be professional.
The missionaries immediately sit up straight. They didn't know Kennedy was watching. Sorry, Elder Kennedy.
Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton?
Yes, sir?
Are they still out?
On the way to their Oak Point meeting now. It's close, so weather won't be a problem.
Making sure. Thank you. If the shoe is wet, the floor gets swept.
Sorry, sir. Interior, Reed's house, living room, sunset. The girls are standing now. They watch Reed place the cokes and candle back on the tray. He lifts the tray to the doorway. This way. Reed starts down the corridor. Paxton begins to follow, but Barnes discreetly snags her companion's shirt.
Wait.
Mr. Reed continues ahead into the dark hallway. Barnes takes out their phone.
One moment, Mr. Reed. We're getting a call from the Relief Society president. We'll be right there.
Okay, yeah, so check that out when you get the chance. It's really fun. It's even better at 1.5 times speed. So try it there, I guess. And we sound really smart at that speed, so I recommend it for this episode as well. Yeah. So hopefully I'll have a guest on the next episode as well. So check that out. Check for that. And before people get crazy with the fireworks, I'm gonna get out of here. And yeah. Thanks. Love you guys. Bye.